The title, Screenwriting is Filmmaking, tricksy title. If you go on to Amazon, you'll find there are over 3,000 books on screenwriting. I had no idea. Does the world need another book on screenwriting? Of course they do. They need my book. In order to rise above the pack, you've got to have a clever title, but the title goes right to the heart of the book and goes right to the heart of my experience. I began as a writer in radio, and actually radio has a lot in common with cinema. But I knew nothing about writing for the screen, and I got into a film school in London, working up in Edinburgh at the time. I came south, not knowing anything about how to write for the screen. And the first exercise we did at the film school was, there was 20 of us, broken down into 4 groups of 5, and each group were given the same script. So we made 4 films from the same script, and each day we had a different role. One day we were operating the camera, the next day we were lighting, the next day we were directing, the next day we did sound. And there was a professional practitioner on hand to instruct us on how to work all of these different devices. And at the end of the shoot, each of us edited a section of the film, and then we saw the 4 different films. And there in 1 week, I kind of got it. Writing for the screen is not just writing, you have to understand something about the way in which film creates meaning through sound and image, through juxtaposition, and particularly through editing. It's said that the film is made 3 times. Once when the writer kind of beats out the structure in the screenplay. The second time when the director brings in the actors and starts to work with them and discovers that what seemed quite plausible on the page is not necessary, because that look between the actors says as much as 2 pages of dialogue. So the director is already reworking and reimagining and reinventing with all the apparatus of film at his disposal, the lights and the framing and the choreographing of the actor before the camera and the movement. And this is the magic of cinema, and understanding uniquely how, a character standing by a tree as the wind blows through the forest creates a very unique feeling in the mind of the audience and in the feelings of the audience, is to understand that cinema creates something quite unique. It's an art form in its own right. And understanding that, and understanding something of the technicalities of how film creates meaning, will make you a better screenwriter. That's the implication of the title, Screenwriting is Filmmaking. In writing a screenplay, imaginatively, you are not just a writer, you are an actor. You are all the characters, as you would be if you're writing fiction. But you're also the director. You're deciding how close and far and when to cut between them. You're also the photographer. You're framing the action. And you're also, crucially, the editor. If there's one useful technical skill for a screenwriter to have, is to try and get into, it would be editing, to get into the cutting room and to see how the film gets reimagined and recreated and rewritten in the cutting room by moving this scene from here to there, by dropping that scene, by cutting from here to there, and so on, by changing the rhythm of the whole, and therefore the meaning of the whole piece. He understands how he is also an editor. He's a filmmaker.